You are watching Dating Club. Today, we decode the psychology of hidden attraction. Have you ever wondered if someone is truly interested in you, or just being friendly? A smile can simply be a sign of politeness. Eye contact can mean many things. Even a pleasant conversation doesn't always reveal the other person's true feelings. Attraction rarely manifests in a single dramatic gesture. More often, it shows up in small, consistent patterns, the way someone pays attention to you, remembers details, or finds reasons to stay in touch. In this video, we'll explore 5 subtle signs that someone might be attracted to you, and how to avoid confusing romantic interest with simple kindness. Before we begin, remember one important rule: no single sign can prove romantic attraction on its own. People behave differently depending on their personality, culture, mood, and comfort level. Some are naturally friendly and expressive. Others might show strong interest yet appear quiet or nervous. Therefore, you shouldn't view these signs as a secret code for reading minds. Instead, look for a combination of signals that recur over time. The most compelling clues aren't isolated moments. They are consistent patterns of attention, engagement, and initiative. And, of course, direct and respectful communication will always be more reliable than guesswork. The first sign is sustained attention. If someone is interested in you, they often look for opportunities to stay within your field of vision. They might keep a conversation going rather than bringing it to a quick close. They might sit next to you, ask how you are doing, or find small excuses to spend more time with you. It is not just the fact that they are attentive that matters. What counts is whether they pay attention to you even when there is no obligation to do so. For example, someone might remember an important meeting you had and ask later how it went. Or they might notice a shift in your mood and tactfully ask if everything is all right. This does not automatically imply romantic attraction. It could also reflect friendship or genuine concern. However, when sustained attention is combined with other signs, it takes on greater significance. Ask yourself, does this person make an effort to stay in touch, even when there is no obvious reason to do so? The second sign is mirroring. Mirroring occurs when people unconsciously imitate aspects of each other's behavior. They might adopt a similar posture, speak at a similar pace, or naturally match the other person's energy. For example, you lean forward, and a few moments later, they do the same. You start speaking more calmly, and their tone gradually becomes calmer, too. You smile, and they respond with a natural smile. This can indicate comfort, rapport, or interest. However, it is not a guaranteed sign of attraction. People may mirror each other simply because they are having a pleasant conversation. Also, avoid turning mirroring into a test. Do not make deliberately odd movements just to see if the other person copies you, as this can make the interaction feel unnatural. Instead, pay attention to whether the conversation feels natural and in sync. Do your pace, energy, and emotional tone gradually become more aligned? The third sign is personal engagement. Someone who is interested in you usually wants to know more than just the basic facts. They ask questions that go beyond small talk and respond to what you say. There is a significant difference between asking questions out of politeness and being genuinely engaged in the conversation. Polite conversation might look something like this: "Where are you from?" or "What do you do for a living?" The person then quickly moves on to the next question. Personal interaction can sound different. You might be asked why you chose that particular profession, what you enjoy about it, or what kind of life you want to build in the future. More importantly, they remember the details. Imagine you casually mentioned that you were preparing for a job interview. A few days later, the person asks how it went. This doesn't prove a romantic connection, but it shows that they were listening and that the conversation mattered to you. True interest is often revealed not by the number of questions asked, but by the quality of attention paid. The fourth sign is an open and relaxed posture. When people feel comfortable in someone's presence, they often turn their whole body toward that person, maintain natural eye contact, and remain fully engaged in the conversation. They might lean slightly toward you while you speak. Their facial expressions may react to your words. They appear relaxed rather than eager to get away. However, body language should always be interpreted in context. Crossed arms do not always signal rejection. A person might be cold, nervous, tired, or simply comfortable sitting that way. Avoiding eye contact does not always indicate a lack of interest. Some people become shy precisely when they are attracted to someone. So, instead of asking, "What does this specific gesture mean?" ask a broader question. Does this person seem comfortable, interested, and open to continuing the interaction? The fifth sign is consistency. A single compliment might be spontaneous. A warm conversation could simply reflect a good mood. However, genuine interest usually becomes more apparent through consistent behavior. Does this person show warmth in various situations? Do they maintain interest in both online and face-to-face interactions? Do they remember past conversations? Do they remain interested even after the initial excitement has faded? Consistency doesn't mean someone has to constantly text you or act exactly the same way every day. People have different schedules, responsibilities, and communication styles. It is the overall trend that matters. If a person is friendly one day but completely indifferent the next, there may not be enough information to draw a conclusion. But if their attention, curiosity, and engagement remain steady over time, their behavior warrants closer attention. Consistency makes interest more significant. However, it still doesn't tell you exactly what kind of interest they feel. Body language is most useful when it reinforces a person's words and actions, rather than replacing them. So, how do you distinguish romantic interest from simple politeness? Look for candidates who take the initiative. A polite person might respond warmly when you strike up a conversation. Someone showing genuine personal interest, however, will also create opportunities to connect with you. They might start the conversation themselves, suggest making plans, send something that reminded them of you, or keep the interaction going even after the initial reason for the conversation has passed. Taking the initiative matters because it demonstrates freedom of choice. The person isn't just reacting to your attention, they are investing their own attention and energy. However, initiative shouldn't be confused with pressure. Someone who constantly ignores your boundaries is not showing healthy interest. Genuine attraction can, and should coexist with respect, patience, and attentiveness. The most reliable indicator isn't intensity, but mutual effort. If both people show curiosity, make time, and feel comfortable taking the relationship further, that is far more significant than one person trying to read meaning into every minor gesture. If you notice a few of these signs, what should you do next? There is no need to make dramatic declarations or demand immediate clarification. Start with a small, respectful gesture. Ask a more personal question. Share something honest about yourself. Suggest continuing the conversation over coffee or going for a walk together. Then, pay attention to the response. Do they seem comfortable? Do they engage? Do they suggest an alternative if they can't make it? Do they maintain interest after the interaction? This approach is more useful than endlessly analyzing the other person's eye contact or body language. Instead of trying to solve the whole puzzle on your own, you create an opportunity for mutual understanding. Remember, the goal isn't to convince someone to like you. The goal is to find out if there is mutual interest. Attraction can be hard to spot because it rarely manifests through a single, obvious signal. The most significant signs include sustained attention, natural mirroring, personal engagement, relaxed body language, and consistency over time. However, the most reliable indicator remains mutual initiative. When someone is interested, They usually find a way to participate in the process, not perfectly or constantly, but regularly enough for you to feel that the effort is shared. So, pay attention to patterns, respect the context, and don't jump to conclusions. And when the moment feels right, choose honest communication over endless guesswork. Which sign do you usually notice first? Eye contact, personal questions, constant attention, or initiative? Share your answer in the comments. Subscribe to Dating Club for practical tips on attracting attention, communicating, and building healthy relationships. In the next video, we'll look at subtle mistakes that can ruin a first impression before a real connection even has a chance to form. See you in the next video.